The ingenuity of 27 law students in the University of the South Pacific in Vanuatu is what set off the campaign that accomplished the landmark International Court of Justice (ICJ) advisory opinion on climate harm. For this reason, Dr. James Fletcher characterized the Vanuatu ICJ initiative as a testament to what the youth are capable of when they organize around civil, social, and environmental issues. He sees potential for Saint Lucia's youth to take up climate action as the focus of their advocacy and activism.
And the other very important thing for this ruling for me is the role that civil society played, particularly young people. You know, this can't be something that government leads. This has to be something that everyone understands the importance and everyone gets involved in. And civil society played a very big role in ensuring that this had the legs, sufficient legs to get to the UN and sufficient legs after the UN to get to the International Court of Justice, and particularly youth-led civil society. And that's what I think hopefully this will give strength to and courage and encouragement so that civil society will take up this battle in an even more forceful manner, particularly civil society in the Caribbean, which I find has lagged behind civil society in other areas. You know, we are at ground zero of the climate change crisis. But while we've seen, yes, there are a few civil society organizations, particularly youth-led civil society organizations, I'm not seeing enough of a broad groundswell of civil society momentum towards climate action.
According to Fletcher, Saint Lucian youth-led civil society organizations can collaborate with similar organizations around the world, including the United States, to accomplish the transformations required to make a difference in the climate crisis.
So I think we also, and that's where civil society comes in, we have to see how civil society can establish links and get that solidarity from organizations, from agencies within the United States that can help to put pressure, one, on the US government so that it can understand that despite what signals might be coming from the White House and the federal government, there is a strong feeling at the ground level that more action is required because we're feeling it and we know it. But also that we now have a larger group of people, a larger body of people at the civil society level who are clamoring for change.
The existential threat that climate change poses to individuals and communities is not yet a top priority for the common man, which is a gap that can be filled by grassroots organizations as opposed to the government.
We're not seeing people understanding just how impactful this is, that the quality of life that you and I are enjoying will not be available in 20, 30 years from now. Temperatures will be hotter. You will not be able to grow the same vegetables that you're growing now because there just won't be enough water to irrigate them. You know, you might have more pests and diseases because conditions are just more favorable for them. So this is something that everybody has to appreciate the importance of. And we have to use this now to mobilize action both nationally and internationally.
The Inter-American Court on Human Rights declared the climate crisis a human rights emergency on the 3rd of July, mandating that countries prevent climate harms as part of their human rights obligations just prior to the ruling by the ICJ.
And the other important thing about this advisory opinion is that it comes on the heels of another one that was issued by the Inter-American Court on Human Rights that came out of a request made by, I think it was Chile and Colombia. That opinion reinforced many of the things that, you know, it said that climate change is a human rights threat. It said that states have binding obligations to prevent foreseeable human rights violations caused by climate change, that states can be held responsible for climate-related harm beyond their borders, so the whole question of extraterritorial obligations, that people have the right to a healthy environment is an autonomous right, and that it's a collective right that is enjoyed by individuals and communities, and that it also spoke about special protection for at-risk populations, so people like indigenous people, Afro-descendant communities, recognizing that people of African descent have historically been put in a disadvantageous position.
Various forms of unsustainable development and disruptions to the climate system have posed significant threats to the youth's prospects of enjoying the same quality of life as prior generations. Therefore, the children and the young adults of Saint Lucia are called upon to take up climate action as their priority and to demand change. For Choice News Now, I am Cianna Dalsan.